Today in History. The guitar sound, it never fails to amaze me. Exactly. Love that.
Nice.
Okay, it's April the 3rd, and we're going to continue with our journey to the past.
We certainly are. We have two events to talk about today, but before that, I have a quiz question for you. It's about movies. Okay. Star Wars is a movie that takes place, number one, in a galaxy far, far away, or number two, in Wonderland. Okay, one more time. Star Wars is a movie that takes place, number one, in a galaxy far, far away, or number two, in Wonderland. Maybe a tough question, I don't know. But if you know the answer right now, you can text it in on your cell phone, pounder sharp 1045 for 51, or leave your answers on our Bundy board to win a Lock and Lock Eco Mug Cup.
Okay, we're going to cover two items today for Today in History, and here's the list.
Today in history. In 1924, Marlon Brando was born, and in 1978, Star Wars won 6 Academy Awards.
Wow, look at that. Check out the photo of Marlon Brando on 보이는 라디오.
Where was it? I missed it.
You missed it.
Yeah.
But 항상 주셔야 된다니까. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, wow. He kind of looks like Sean Connery.
What?
No? You don't think so?
I have to say no.
You told me all white people look the same.
No. 그건 아니다. 네.
A little tiny bit. He's a handsome guy, huh?
Right.
You
Charismatic.
Know, yeah,
that's for sure.
I'm only familiar with Marlon Brando from his later years where he got quite big. I've never seen a photo like this before.
그 욕망이라는 이름의 전체 Streetcar Named Desire 아마 그때 나왔었을 때가 아닌가 싶기도 한데요. 자, Marlon Brando 얘기하겠습니다. Today we have two events, like I said, and by all means that transformed the film industry and became cultural icons of their own. And first, we're going to take a look at Marlon Brando.
That's right. He's hailed as the greatest among the greatest. Brando was born on this day in 1924, and to this date, very few actors have made as much of an impact as he has. He's considered by Time magazine as one of the 100 persons in the century, 100 people in the century, one of only 3 actors who made it to that list. The other 2 are Charlie Chaplin and Marilyn Monroe.
But probably his legacy best lives in the way he is seen by other actors, such as Johnny Depp, who stated that Brando reinvented and revolutionized acting.
There's more pictures of Marlon Brando when he was young, right?
Very rebellious kind of look.
Looks like he works out a lot, too.
Oh, yes, he does.
Spend some time in the gym. Anyway, among his roles, probably the one that caused the most impact was in the movie The Godfather, Vito Corleone.
And yes, Brando portrait of the head of the Corleone family paved the way for future actors. But surely the stories behind the scene were a whole different movie in their own.
I invite you into my home, and this is how you treat me. There's no respect, Bo-young. There's no respect, Bo-young.
For instance,
that's impressive.
Brando became one of only 3 people in history to have refused the Academy Award he had won for the role. I did not know this. This is really interesting. He didn't want it. This was
you didn't know about this?
This was due as a way to protest and address the Native American rights movement.
네, 그렇습니다. 그 아카데미상을 수상을 하긴 했지만 그 과감히 거부한 몇몇 그 안 되는 배우 중에 하나가 바로 말론 브랜도죠. Despite this and many other instances that gave him a notorious fame of being a very difficult person to work with, his name alone was a driving force in Hollywood.
In fact, his name literally was considered so valuable that many personal checks he wrote were never cashed because his signature was worth more than the checks themselves. Wow. That is pretty cool.
와, 대단한데요? Okay, so much for Marlon Brando. By the way, happy birthday, Mr. Marlon Brando. And now let's move on to our second event, another name that is self-explanatory in itself. But why don't we let the opening sequence do the introduction? Okay, So, on this day in 1978, the movie Star Wars by George Lucas took home 6 Academy Awards, including Best Music, the one we're listening to right now, and Best Special Effects. It was also the first science fiction film ever to be nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, now Star Wars marked the beginning of a hugely successful franchise, if not a genre on its own, right? It prompted 5 more installments, video games, TV series, and a whole culture, again, all on its own. Really amazing how that happened. And as of 2013, it is the 3rd highest grossing movie in the world.
Wow. Well, Star Wars is such an influential movie that even director James Cameron of Titanic and Avatar is said to have quit his job to become a movie director or film director after he watched this movie Star Wars for the first time.
Wow.
Other filmmakers to have done the same are Peter Jackson of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and Ridley Scott of Blade Runner and Christopher Nolan of the Dark Knight series.
Interesting. Ironically, though, Star Wars' fame was also the source of much criticism in Hollywood, as many blamed the movie for shifting the audience interests away from more sophisticated movies such as The Godfather.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if The Godfather is less sophisticated. I mean, The Godfather is one of the best movies ever. Have you seen it?
Of course.
Did you love it?
I loved it, especially part 1 and 2.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, I think it's just a different style of movie. Are you a fan of the Star Wars series?
Not so much,
Not
to
so
be
much?
honest.
Yeah. Why is that? Just not a fan of sci-fi in general?
Exactly.
Yeah. For me, though, when I was a kid, I used to love watching the Star Wars movies. Yeah. All right. 2 interesting events for today in history, and we have to wrap it up. But before we do, the answer to the quiz question. It was, Star Wars is a movie that takes place, number 1, in a galaxy far, far away, or number 2, in Wonderland. And of course, Star Wars takes place in a galaxy far, far away. The answer, number 1.
아무래면 원더랜드에서 스타워즈를 했었겠어요. 그죠? 자, congratulations 강진영님. Lock and Lock 에코 머커 보내드릴게요.
All right, and that is it for Today in History. We'll listen to this song, and when we come back, it's Daniel's time for Cine Premieres. Here is Andy Williams, Speak Softly, Love.